how we're all feeling about the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. So I'm excited to get into this one. I think it's going to be a fun one. I think there's thoughts on like both ends of the spectrum on how you should feel about this. And maybe a little bit about the process and maybe how we got here. So I think it's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to get into all of it with you guys.
Yo, hold up. Stop scrolling, because what just dropped out of Cleveland in the last 24 hours, this is the kind of move that changes everything for Deion Sanders going into 2026. And trust me when I tell you, most people slept on this. They completely let it slide right under the radar, but not today. Today, we're pulling that rug back, and I'm showing you exactly what's underneath. Let's get into it.
Kenny, what about you?
Dude, I was like, stay away. That's what I was saying right from the get-go. And then I'll be honest with you, in the Discord, we get together, and sometimes we have a Discord hangout, and I was with Brad Moneymaker, so with Aaron Watts, and we were talking. They were like, they wanted my boomer impression of who was going to be, and I just said, you know what? I don't think it's going to be Schwartz. I think it's going to be Todd Monken. And you know what they said? Go F yourself. Yeah, right, whatever. And then it came to fruition. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't mad. I was definitely disappointed. But I think when I looked up, and we'll probably get into it, I looked up how he did offensively. And then based on what Jimmy said, where he was looking for intelligence, decision-making acumen.
So look, I got to set the stage real quick before we get into the juice, because if you remember, and I know you remember, last season in Cleveland was a nightmare. Kevin Stansberry made it his personal mission, his absolute business, to make sure Deion Sanders failed. We watched it happen in real time. We watched Dylan Gabriel get more pass attempts than the guy who actually wanted to throw the football. We watched an offense that was designed almost surgically to hold Deion back. And that was heartbreaking. That was painful to watch. But here's the thing.
One big-time hire was offensive coordinator Travis Switzer. Now, he made another big-time hire from the John Harbaugh coaching tree that has pretty much made headlines and went under the rug. Well, y'all know me. I'm the type of person I like to lift up the rug and look and see what's under there. Now, with that being said, let's head on over to X, man, pull up some of this information that has come out within the last couple hours, and that is Todd Monken making profound moves at making sure he bring in the right people to make sure this thing be fireworks.
That chapter, it is closed, because Todd Monken has come into Cleveland, and within the first 4 days, everything, and I mean everything coming out of that building is telling me one thing. This man wants Deion Sanders to succeed, and he's putting his money where his mouth is. Now, you already heard about the Travis Switzer hire, the offensive coordinator. That was big. That was huge. But see, that's not what we're here to talk about today. No. Today is about a hire that slipped right past everybody, a hire that went under the rug.
Down to it, I'm definitely open to giving him the opportunity. I said this on the show the other day. As soon as you're a Brown, I will root for you. I will root for you to succeed until you give me a reason not to. And then at that point, I'm done. I'm off your train. But right now, let's roll. Todd Monken. We'll see how it goes.
And y'all know I don't let nothing stay under that rug. So here we go. Todd Monken just hired Danny Brier as the pass coordinator. And before you scroll past that name, let me tell you why this matters.
It's no secret that we feel a type of way about the Browns and the way they done everything. But as of right now, I can't be nothing but happier. You feel me? Since the Browns are expected to hire Ravens offense assistant Danny Brier as a pass coordinator. Now, this story right here came from CBS Sports. He's been in Baltimore for the last 3 years, working closely with tight end unit that's include players like Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Now, this gentleman right here, Danny Brier, is another person that I believe that is going to get them over the hump.
Danny Brier has spent the last 3 years in Baltimore. Baltimore, people working directly with one of the most elite tight end units in the entire NFL. We're talking Mark Andrews. We're talking Isaiah Likely. This man knows how to scheme up passing attacks. He knows how to get the ball to the right people at the right time. And now he is bringing that exact system, that exact mentality to Cleveland, to Deion Sanders. And here is where it gets real, because last year, the biggest complaint about Deion was that he couldn't let the ball go, that the offense wasn't designed for him to throw, that he was being held back. Well, guess what? Everything Monken is building right now is designed to fix exactly that. This offense is being constructed to highlight everything Deion does well and to minimize everything that held him back last season. So let me ask you something. Let me ask you this. Could this, and I'm dead serious, could this be the best offensive staff that Deion Sanders has ever had in his entire football career? Think about that. Think about what that means. Because if the answer is yes, and I genuinely believe it might be, then every single person who doubted him last year is about to have a very bad season. But it gets deeper than just one hire. See, this is where you got to zoom out and see the bigger picture. Todd Monken is not just grabbing random coaches off the street. He is specifically, strategically poaching the Baltimore Ravens coaching tree. Travis Switzer. Ravens connection. Danny Brier, Ravens. This is not a coincidence, people. This is a blueprint. And if you know anything about what happened in Baltimore during Lamar Jackson's MVP season, you know that blueprint works. That season was special. That offense was special. And Todd Monken's fingerprints were all over it. So the fact that he is now rebuilding that same system, bringing in those same minds to Cleveland, that should have every single Browns fan excited. That should have every Deion Sanders fan circling the date on the calendar. Now, and I know some of y'all been waiting for this, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the defensive coordinator situation. Because Jim Schwartz, he wants out of Cleveland, and the drama here is real. See, the thing is, Jim Schwartz is still under contract through the entire 2026 season. So even if he wants to leave, and from everything we're hearing, he does, it is not that simple. The Browns still own that contract. One reporter put it like this: Jim Schwartz is 58 years old. He wants to be a head coach again. And if he feels like the organization doesn't see him that way, at some point you got to ask yourself, is it time to move on? And that might be exactly the message he's putting out there right now. But whatever happens with Schwartz, the bottom line is this: Cleveland needs a defensive coordinator, and that is the million-dollar question for the 2026 season. So here is where you come in, because I need to hear from y'all. Get down in that comment section right now and tell me, who do you think the Browns should hire as their next defensive coordinator? That is the question. That is the conversation we need to be having. And if you are watching this and you have been sleeping on what's happening in Cleveland, wake up, because Todd Monken is assembling something special. And if Deion Sanders is the quarterback, which I truly believe he will be, this could be the season that shuts up every single critic, every single one. If this video added value, if you learned something, if you felt that energy, hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. Share this with somebody who needs to hear it. And keep those bells on, because I will be back with more. Hold your wrist up, baby. Shake the haters off. Peace.